Just recently, I walked in the store and the guy said, "I'm not a bum, but could you loan me $5?" And why do they say loan me? When do they expect to pay it back? When do they expect to pay it back? Maybe you've seen this at restaurants. I saw this in Martinsville. That's what I call drive-through panhandling. They don't even get out of the car now. They drive through when it's supper time or whatever, dinner time. Restaurants are very busy. They drive to the parking lot, spool down the window, and ask for money. They're too blasted lazy to even get out of the car. Yeah, just let that happen to me. Yes, yes. It's unreal. It's unreal. The drive-through panhandling. We've had calls of our church. At one time, we nearly depleted our whole bank account. Not that we have any money in there anyway, but we gave away a lot of money because, it's just they were horrendous stories. We would have stories like, I'm pregnant, I got 3 children by some deadbeat sperm donor, and none of them will the men won't pay any child support. They just cut off the heat, they just cut off the electricity, they just cut off the gas. We're hungry, could you help me? And these people are always desperate. They're always, but I just cut off the heat, just cut off the gas. I don't know what I'm going to do. And you hear babies crying in the background, I'm convinced there's a sobstory.com on the internet somewhere where people just download these stories and read them to churches. They just go down the list calling church after church and they read these sob stories. Now, the most important information that you can have when it comes to helping America's poor is this. I'm going to give you the most important thing that you need to know when it comes to helping America's poor. Now, I am making a distinction between America's poor and third world countries. I think we ought to help those people in third world countries because they're not in the land of opportunity like we are in America. I'm dealing with America's poor, or so-called poor. Okay, let me set the story up. Many years ago, I was in a building supply, me and my brother, and we wanted these nail aprons, little cloth nail aprons that you tie around you and put some nails in. And so I went in there and I said, "Y'all got any of those nail aprons that you give away?" This guy looked at me. He did not crack a smile. He was serious as a heart attack. He said, "We don't give anything away." And it was like a light come on. I thought, well, sure. How do you stay in business giving stuff away? It makes perfect sense. We don't give anything away. Now, the first step to helping the poor in America is to understand nothing's free. You got to help them understand that we don't just give stuff away, okay? You got to understand this. Unless you understand this biblical principle, okay, nothing is free. You will just make poor people more, poorer than they already are. They get even, poorer or whatever. Now, I can just hear somebody, I can hear the religious fanatic say, well, grace is free. Grace is free. And we should be like God. Just give it all away. Yeah. Look at Romans 2 and verse 13. Talking about the subject of grace. It says, "For not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified." Now, who has the opportunity to come into a position to be justified by God's grace? This verse says, the doers of the law come into a position to be justified by God's grace. Now, they're not justified by the law, they're justified by grace. But it is the doers, not the hearers. Oh, and there are millions of Christians who play church and they're hearers of the law. They really don't even want to hear that. They don't even want to hear the law, to be honest with you. And they're sure not about to do anything found in the law of God. And they're out of the loop. They're playing church. They're playing churchianity. They're on the merry-go-round of churchianity, and they will die in their sins. Yeah, okay. Not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers shall be justified. It's only the doers that come into a position to be justified by God's grace.